Afternoon everybody. So we're going to do a wee bit of work on the SD1 today. It's MOT time and respray time is quickly approaching, so I'm going to get it started up today, see where we're at with the engine, maybe see what the mixture is on it and if there's any problems that we run into. Right then, take two. Battery didn't seem to turn it over very well, so it's got Kit's battery on it now. So that's enough to start it on the jumper leads. That'll be a job after MOT, get that fan fixed. Doing my head in every time you start it. It goes away, the noise, after a couple of minutes, but certainly not pleasant. We appear to have lost some of our fan belt, which is quite interesting. I just saw that flying up. I mean, it is pretty loose. Needs replacing anyway, but tighten it up, see what happens. Right, we'll try and have a go of making this into a bit of a video today. Which is going to be interesting because it's really windy and the camera's floating about all over. But we'll try the mic, we'll see if the mic helps us at all. So yeah, we're having a look at this. So we're having a look at this fan belt scenario, see what's going on with it. Half of it flew off. Yeah, this. Yeah, we lost this. So it's always been screeching when I've started up, but I've never looked into it in a great deal of detail. I mean, it could be as simple as it just being loose or something to see. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to slacken the tension off of it just now and just see if the water pump is tight or the alternator, just in case. And I guess there's going to be another pivot bolt down there somewhere, maybe, or maybe not. Maybe it's just that top one. Get this mic sorted a little bit. Right, that's better. Yeah, I don't think this alternator has been off in a very long time, probably about 16, 17 years. So everything is a bit stiff. Looks like, oh yeah, missed one there at that side. Take a spanner on the other side. I'll try that 1/2 inch one, that should do the trick. Right, that should be it now. There we go. Waiting for the bonnet to come down and whack me in the head, that'll be interesting. Still not moving. It's moving a little bit, but not enough. Get that belt. It's going to be trying some WD-40 on the mount itself. It's seized on a little bit. That seems better. Yeah, I mean, we definitely need a new belt, but that's all spinning freely. That's all spinning freely. So what we'll do is we'll just stick it back on for the time being and put it a wee bit tighter and see what happens. And then get another one ordered for it. Right, let's see if it starts. Ideally with no squeaking. Or the belt could just snap off. That could be quite funny as well. That seems a lot happier. Right, so plan's going to be, I'm going to try and get it up to temperature and see what happens. I've never fully run it up to temperature. I've only run it for about 5 minutes at a time before, but once that wind dies down a little bit, we'll do a little bit of a walk around summary of where I'm up to with it. So engine bay wise, you know, we're looking pretty good. Still got to sort out the oil pressure switch and oil, you know, the other switch for the oil pressure gauge. So they still need replacing in there. That looks like the wiring for brake sensor, brake pad wear sensor. This, I think we have a little bit of a leak. There was a huge puddle in it and I filled it the other day and it's empty again. We have a blow on that gasket down there, that downpipe gasket. And the last time we had a leak just coming from the thermostat, so we'll see if that leaks again this time. And inside, oh, that's better. I hear myself think now. So yeah, inside I've reconnected the seat belts, so they're back in. Still having problems with these wipers. I have been adding to a video that I've been doing on the wipers, but we seem not a lot further forward. We've actually fitted a new switch there for it, but I'll not go into that. I'll not spoil that other very boring video. But yeah, other than that, inside, I don't think there's anything else I really need to do MOT wise. Tidied everything up under there. I've still put the little box on under there, but I guess we don't really need to do that. Going round to the back, get this boot open. I've sourced another one of these, so I need to fit that and fit new bulbs to that this afternoon. A little bit of rust you can see down there. What was happening is this is still an ongoing leak I've got from up there, but as that glass is going to be coming out when it gets its respray in a couple of weeks, we'll get that looked at there. So I'm just leaving that and I'll address that once that leak's resolved. So you hear how sweet it's actually running. Running really, really well. Go and push the choke in. So I think we probably need a little bit of adjustment on the idle anyway, by the sounds of that. I did give it a little bit of a mini service with plugs, distributor cap, HT leads, all the usual stuff, but once we get a bit more temperature in it, we'll see what's going on with that mixture. Get the idle adjusted up as well, I think. So, while we're waiting for that, I suppose I could do a little bit of a project roundup where we're at. So this has been the main focus. The Maestro Turbo since it's come back from the paint shop. I've been focusing on just everything in the engine bay to get it started. So we're not a million miles off now. Got the intercooler in, which you can't actually see, it hides. Yeah, that's it there. You can just see it hiding down there. That on with the hoses. These are non-original, obviously, these Samco ones, but my plan is just to get it running, get it MOT'd, and then figure out what I want to change once we've got it back on the road. So yeah, so they're fitted up. Carb coolant fan fitted up. Had a brand new coolant reservoir, so fitted that up. What else we've done? Reconnected all the fuel system. So all of these, I'd taken these away so that you could get in here to paint it. The fuel pressure regulator, so I had all that moved out of the road, so you can see the paint's a little bit better than when I done it with a rattle can. So that's done. ECU's back in, the washer reservoirs back in. I really want a new one of them because that looks minging. Battery trays in. Accelerator cable's reconnected, but that's knackered as well, but these are pretty hard to come by, so that's going to be something just to keep an eye out for in the future. The carb steadies, or supports actually, as you probably call them, they're back and bolted up. That one I was actually bent, so I've straightened that one up. That's good to go. What we have still to do is to put in the cooling fan. I've just been painting the bracket for that, so that can go in. We're missing a breather. It comes up here into there, so that, and there's another little one down there that goes onto the airbox. Fitted this, that was powder coated. Cleaned up the airbox. It never actually had a standard airbox on it. When I got it, it had like a K&N type filter, so swapped that out. Well, I actually sourced that years ago, never fitted it. Just cleaned all that up, so that's ready to go in. Sorted this out because the bonnet wasn't latching properly, so this just needed to go back a little bit, but again, that's going to come off and get that plated or something because it looks pretty minging. Changed the bolts on these. Let's just go and check how this is doing. Yeah, you know, it's still hanging on in there. I don't know if the temperature gauge works or not. I mean, got a bit of something going on there. And that's it choke fully in. So I mean, it is running. We'll give it another few minutes and then I'll start playing about with that idle. Ultimately, the carb's going to get stripped down and rebuilt on it anyway, but again, if we can get it through MOT without having to do that, that's my preferred route at the moment. Wheel bearings, both sides, they're done. Not published that video yet, so I'll not go into that. So that's all done. We still have the oil pressure sensor to go in. Yep, so that's still to be done. What else? Side repeaters, they need wiring in. Oh, we've got the tank in. So, yeah, tank's in. That breather hose is in, ready to attach to the filler neck. What I've got to do this afternoon is fit the 2 fuel hoses from the pump. So pump to the car and then the return onto the tank. This looks a bit nicer since last time as well. At least it's all black now. I was baffled where the wiring harness goes, well, wiring loom goes for the pump and the sender unit. I just couldn't work it out. I can't remember where I've put it. It's lying about here somewhere. But anyway, yeah, so it transpires that it actually goes through there. Looking at the original pictures, and I forgot to drill a hole after I welded a new plate on, so that's a bit embarrassing. So we need to sort that out so we can get the wiring in for that. Door trim on, so that's great. Need to sort out the wires there, central locking wires, and there's a little switch there that turns on and off the interior light, so that wants doing. And then the rest of this reassembled. I mean, I was collecting clips I need for the door trims. There's a few of them are missing, so I've got them now. I'm trying to figure out what else. Oh yeah, exhaust. I'll close that so I don't walk into it. The exhaust is on. It's an aftermarket one. Fit isn't perfect at the moment, but it's on. I'm just going to let it settle. That was a bit of a drama because it is a little bit bigger and clearance isn't ideal in certain areas. But again, we can get that adjusted. We'll probably take it back up to the Reaper exhausts that I used previously for the Astra. I'll get them just to fettle that, maybe put on another bracket. I'm trying to think what else we have to do in here. Obviously fit up all these door trims and stuff like that. Hoovered all this out, but I'm going to take these seats out, clean under them, get all the dust away. We still have that heater panel in there to fit, and I need to sort out the headline and remove most of that for the paint job, so that needs to get reinstated along with the pillar trims, stuff like that. Aerial, yeah, that's a bit of a pain. That appears to cables jammed halfway down, so that's a job for another day. Wiper motors in, obviously along with the spindles. Yeah, I had a wee bit of a problem with these. Yeah, as you can see, I melted that one when I was welding. And the same with the other side. So what I've done is I cut the other side off, and I've got some straight connects. I think they're 8mm or something like that. So I'm just going to put another piece of hose in. That's just the drains from the sunroof. Then I can get that plastic scuttle trim on. I'm trying to find the clip for that as well. As a clip that holds that back a little bit. It's a bit annoying. Right, so what we like on the Rover, is it warmed up? Yeah, so we've got a good bit of temperature in it there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the video, go and get the exhaust gas analyzer and the strobe, and what I'll do is I'll see what the RPM is, but it sounds very, very low. Don't worry about the oil pressure gauge reading less than 0. I've tested that remotely with another gauge, and I know that works. I know the oil pressure is fine on the engine, so there's no issues there. Right, so I've got this just Gunson gas tester that I use just to roughly set up exhaust, well, the carbs on these. You can't even see because of the sun. There you go. So what you're meant to do is it's meant to be set to something like 2%, just in air as a very rough calibration. Last time this was used was on the Montego. You might have seen that in the Montego video if you watched it. I think you have to leave it about 10 minutes to settle down. So that's it. 2. Stick up the exhaust. I don't know if the strobe, I've got a strobe that measures RPM. I don't know if that will work on an 8-cylinder, but we will soon find out. Carb, I mean, there's a stop there, a throttle stop adjustment, so I'm just going to use that just to get the idle up. There's maybe another couple of adjustments. I think that's a mixture adjustments. I haven't read up on them. Need to figure out what that does, or block that out. Looks like a vac line that's open. Anyway, we'll sort that out in a minute. get that clamped on again. Let's see if we need to use the jump leads or if there's enough charge in it. There we go, that's promising. Alright, let's have a look. Saying 460, which could be about right actually, it does sound very low. Right, let's try giving it a wee bit more. $820, a bit high. Well, that's 670, so we'll leave it at that just now. That seems to be a wee bit happier. Right, let's go and have a look, see what the exhaust emissions are at. Put that in the dark so we can see it. So that's claiming in the region of 2. Well, be gobsmacked if that's the case, but I mean there is that little leak downpipe, but what, we'll clear it a little bit, give it some revs. Let that settle down. Looking pretty low. And give it another couple of minutes just to settle. I mean, I guess the main objective of this is just make sure it's not something daft like 7 or 8%. But I think the limit's about 3.5, so yeah, you know, that'll probably float up to 2 or something, but I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, it's not 100% accurate, but we are there or thereabout with it, I think. Come back in another minute. Still seems pretty cool there. There's no water leaks. Look at that. And nothing underneath. But that's flying up to 100, so we'll probably turn it off at that. And just figure out what's happening with that temperature gauge. Right, so that's gotten warm now. And I'll put a new thermostat in it so we know the thermostat will be working. So yeah, we'll let that cool off a wee bit. Right, so it's running pretty sweet, I think. Obviously not perfect, it hasn't been tuned. That carb will need a strip down. But yeah, I'm going to be keeping an eye on this temperature gauge, see what's going on. It could be the case it's got a faulty sensor, it could be the case it is in fact heating up. It has had a new start on it, but like I said, I'll keep a very, very close eye on that. Right, let's see what that's going to tell us now. .3. .1. Now that radiator pipe's red hot now, so you definitely know water's getting through the radiator now. .9, yeah, so there or thereabout.
Peace out and subscribed.
That's it. Good.